Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Feeling a little bit old today. Tomorrow I turn 35. And honestly, I'm not that excited for it. But I did go to the barber today. I got him to cut out all the gray hair. Clearly you guys can't see anything left. And if you can, I don't want to hear about it in the comments. You're never too old to want Star Trek toys for your birthday. And this year did not disappoint. This is just not any toy. This is the 1/6 scale Lieutenant Commander Data from Exo-6. I am pretty happy to have this guy in my 1/6 scale collection. I'm not gonna lie. Now, when this guy hit the market, he sold out so quickly. And I know that so many of us, including myself, were looking for this guy on the secondary market, seeing this guy tick up in price already like crazy. Do I think Exo-6 is going to eventually make another Data? Maybe. But if they don't, I needed to have this guy in my collection. He's not without his flaws, and we're going to get into that in the video. But I'm hoping that this maybe can help you guys with some of your buying decisions, or you just want to stick around, talk some cool Star Trek stuff. If you like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe for the birthday, and let's just get into it. Okay, so welcome back. Jumping into this right off the hop. This is Lieutenant Commander Data from Exo-6. I actually really like the box art for this figure. I think Exo-6 is doing a really good job having a very just classy design with their figure boxes. I think it's interesting that on the back here, it showcases that the second head sculpt that this guy comes with has like essentially a figure stand for it. I can't find that in the box. Now, I didn't get this figure brand new. I did get it secondhand. So maybe it's a piece that's missing. I'm not sure, but I don't even see a slot for it in the box, and we'll get kind of to that. But I do think the box does look classy. Now, Dean from Collecting Weekly actually pointed out that he thought that the figure sculpt itself actually looks better than the image on the box, which I think is interesting. I can't decide if I agree with that 100% or not. But as you can see, this is the first contact Star Trek film. I do think that that's one of the best films that Star Trek has ever made, is easily one of my favorites anyways. And so I was really excited to get this guy in hand. Now, this does have the kind of box within a sleeve box design, which I think is cool. You can see on the top there, you see that first contact design again. And if you're somebody that doesn't really like to take their figures out of the box, at least you can see them through the window. But that to me seems like a bit of a shame. So I'm going to get them out. I'm going to get the clam tray off. I've muted the volume of the clam tray here on purpose because I don't want to be crunching it in your ears, everybody. But it does feel really classy as soon as you take it off. Now again, I've also taken the liberty. I've taken all the plastic wrap off. So this guy obviously comes with the standard plastic wrap around his hands, around his head sculpts, around his chest piece. There's a lot of plastic in this when you take it out. I think if you wanted to display this through the window, you'd almost have to take the plastic off. Pulling out the head sculpts though, you get a chance to see this second head sculpt right off the hop. Now, I think the Brent Spiner likeness here is really, really good. I like that you get that flesh tone from the scene in the film where the Borg Queen gives him that piece of flesh. It's a really iconic scene of the film, and I think that they've captured that really well here. I like that they've got the different colored eye, just like they had in the film, because he's not wearing his iconic, yellow contact lenses, and he's got his normal kind of hairstyle off to the side. The piece in this head sculpt that has like kind of the dots along it, I don't think that the paint job there is really all that great, but from a distance it's passable 100%. And you can see here just a little bit up close how those marks kind of bleed through. It doesn't really look like it did in the movie where it's kind of lit up, but obviously they can't do that too much. This is the main head sculpt, I would say, that comes with the figure. Now here you get a chance to again see those yellow contact lenses. You get a chance to see kind of the makeup job that Brent Spiner had as Lieutenant Data. I think it's kind of funny because I showed this to Shauna and she immediately said, wow, it looks like he's wearing a lot of foundation. she didn't understand that it was an android. I think that they've captured that really, really well in this head sculpt. Keeping in mind, this is an android. He is an artificial life form. He's not supposed to look all that lifelike. And I think the expression that they've captured here with Data looks really good. He holds his face like this. You even see some of the jowling that the actor has under the makeup, but it really brings the figure to life. So bravo Exo-6. I think they did a really good job with these head sculpts. And again, for the price point of these figures, I do not feel like you can go wrong. Look at these in comparison to each other. Again, I think the likeness is there for sure. It's interesting to me some of the subtle differences that are here. You see that the hairline is slightly different, of course. The nose looks a little different, as well as the jowling, like I mentioned, around his cheeks. It's a different scene in the film, so that's a passable flaw. The nose isn't perfect. When I pulled up pictures of the real-life likeness of Brent Spiner, the nose is a little bit rounder at the tip and not quite as long. But again, I do think that that is quite passable. But, like all figures, there are some parts of this that I'm not totally happy with. The zipper on the front of the outfit. While I know that the zipper is there in reality in terms of the movie costume, I find that you can really see it on this outfit. And the wrist pegs on this guy, not loving them. Mostly because the outfit, based on its design, rolls up really easily at the wrists. So as soon as you bend him at the arm, you see that those wrist pegs are exposed. I also expected a more heavy-duty comm badge. It does feel kind of plasticky. It might be die-cast, but it's really light die-cast if it is. It's just those wrist pegs that are hurting my soul on this one. Again, I do think that the outfit itself looks really good from a distance. And again, with that comm badge, I do like that it's got the shine to it. It does really stand out in the collection. But you can see that he has virtually no ability to raise his arms. And so it makes posing him really difficult. And as I said, as soon as you bend the arm in this outfit, it exposes the wrist joints, which are really, really ugly. And not color matched at all to the hands or the head sculpt. So it really highlights the fact that it's a figure and not a shrink ray version of the actor like we kind of always hope for with 1/6 scale. Maybe that's asking too much, maybe especially at this price point. But again, you can see that he has almost no bend in his waist. He can't really bend back at all. And his knees do bend to a point, but I did notice something kind of interesting when it comes to this outfit. And it wasn't highlighted to me in the past. The pants actually have a strap that go around the bottom of the foot. So when you try and bend him at the knees, his pants don't slide up, which I appreciate because you're not seeing an ugly ass ankle joint, but it really reduces his ability to have any flexibility or posability for that matter, which is a bit of a downfall, I would say, for the figure. You also see that on the bottom of his shoes he has no tread at all, which for the most part is fine because he can't be all that dynamic to begin with, but it makes his feet feel very, very slippery. I've also noticed, and maybe it's just with this figure specifically, but he has a tendency to tip forward on his ankles. I am a little bit worried that over time, because I'm the type of collector that likes to display my figures without a figure base, that I'm going to come downstairs and this guy's going to be face planted time and time again, because slowly those ankles will slip, and damn you, loose ankles. That's all I can say. Hopefully my figure is a one-off and that's not consistent across all future Exo-6 releases. Now I will say I am happy with all of the accessories that this figure does come with. The phaser rifle here is really well painted. I like that there's a couple of, different pieces of texture in there that just give it a very realistic look, especially on the shelf. There are no moving pieces on it like some of the Hot Toys accessories that we get to see with other figures out there, but that's okay. The phaser comes along with a holster, which I think is really cool because the holster actually has a little magnet on the back, which means you can literally just pop it right onto the figure, and I think that's really cool. It's also really well painted, and I will give it that. It also fits the holster really nicely. It doesn't just easily pop out or fall out if you're just kind of moving the character slightly. The tricorder he comes with is equally as cool. It's got a magnet in the base of it, so you can open it with the magnet, or you can close it with the magnet and slot it into the holster. I just think it's a really neat detail, and it feels like innovation. I haven't seen that in an accessory before, so I definitely appreciate it. And again, it feels like a shrink ray. It's very well painted. The hands are relatively standard. They are matched really well to the skin tone of Data. Again, having that kind of foundation look on him, the overly made up look of Data as a character. And the transport pad that he comes with, I think, is really cool. You also have this little piece that you can kind of slot over the top if you just want all of your bases to be kind of plain and less, Star Trek looking, I guess, if you want that. I'm not sure why you would, to be honest with you. But the figure himself, standing in just a relatively basic character pose, I like a lot. I like this specific pose because it hides the wrist joints a little bit. Even this one where he's holding the phaser, I like that he comes with a hand that's meant to hold the phaser. I like that he has a couple of hands that are meant to hold the phaser rifle. I think that they've done a really good job of thinking of ways that they can give you some dynamic posing options without the figure being all that dynamic, if that makes sense. I do feel still a little bit disappointed that I can't get him into anything much more than a dynamic kind of standing pose. I like the idea of him, scanning an alien like Grogu with his tricorder because it's so iconic Data, right? I can just hear him saying, fascinating, and that to me, when I see him on the shelf, brings the character so much to life. So if you guys have been on the fence with this figure, if you're looking at him and thinking, do I want to pay a higher price point for a secondary market price? For me, I would give this figure an 8.5 out of 10. When you see him at a slight distance, it looks beautiful. I honestly don't think that the camera does the figure all that much justice, especially because he's so pale in his complexion. He's hard to capture. To the naked eye, I think he looks really, really good, and I do really feel that my purchase was justified having him in my collection. Is he a perfect figure? No. I think that the zipper on the front of the outfit is kind of ugly, I'm not gonna lie. I really hate the wrist pegs, how easy they expose. I've heard some feedback in the past that the yellow outfit underneath the main jacket's a little short in the neck. I don't really see that. To me, mine looks fine. I think maybe it just requires a little bit of futzing. So just keep that in mind when you're posing up the figure. If you notice that yellow shirt is slipping down, you can kind of pull at it a little bit and futz with it. I notice it most when I swap the head sculpts out. But ultimately, would I recommend this figure? Yes. If you are a Data fan, get it if you can. If you can find a way to get this in your collection, I would still 100% recommend it, even with some of the subtle things that drive me a little nuts when it comes to a figure. But who cares? It's Data, and I'm fascinated by him. I hope you guys are. I'm very excited to see what some of the future figures of Exo-6 will look like. Locutus, I think, will be the next one in my collection. So, that is my take on this figure. I am very excited to have Lieutenant Commander Data in my collection, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the figure? Are you going to be sticking with the next gen line? Are you diving into all of the figures that are coming out? I've heard some rumors that there's going to be a few more coming in this week, maybe next week, so keep your eyes posted because I'm sure that I'll put out a preview video for those guys as well. But I am excited to finally have an Exo-6 figure in my collection. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the figure? What are your thoughts on the future of the line? If you like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me for the birthday, like I said, and I'm going to go get old tomorrow and have a rum and coke and think about toys. Catch you guys on the next one.